Today, we're looking at a really fascinating leader who's operating right at the intersection of three pretty huge fields: high stakes global finance, super strict corporate governance, and, of course, the massive wave of artificial intelligence. So let's just get right to it. This is the central question that leaders in global banking and, honestly, any regulated industry are wrestling with right now. In a world where one tiny mistake can have absolutely massive consequences, how do you bring in transformative AI without also bringing in catastrophic risk? And the answer, or at least a really powerful way to frame the answer, comes from Sangeetha Shee. Her whole philosophy is about positioning AI as a business capability, not a consumer novelty. This one shift in thinking changes everything. It's not about playing with shiny new toys. It's about deploying a serious business tool. And that gets to the heart of the tension in this whole space, right? It's the classic innovator's dilemma. You've got to embrace the power of AI to compete, but your entire business is built on a foundation of absolute, non-negotiable security and compliance. So what do? This slide just lays it out so perfectly. It shows the two completely different worlds of AI. Over on the left, you have the consumer tools we all know. They often use public data. You can type anything you want in there. And yeah, there's a real risk of data leakage. These are the novelty apps. But on the right, that's the enterprise approach. Everything is secure, locked down in your company's system, with carefully controlled prompts, serious data loss prevention, and a laser focus on being a real business capability. Okay, so we've seen the dilemma. What's the actual fix? Well, that brings us to a really specific methodology for solving it, called the Office Safe AI Playbook. So what exactly is the Office Safe approach? Think of it as a set of rules. The goal is to use AI to speed up work, but only within the existing bank-grade security controls and with tools that are already approved. The foundation is ironclad. You do not compromise on data security, confidentiality, or regulations. It's all about innovating inside the guardrails. And this isn't just some abstract idea. It's grounded in a specific set of tools that are already approved for enterprise use. The whole idea is to create a secure ecosystem, kind of like a walled garden for AI. You're using platforms that already have security and data protection built right in, which means all the innovation happens in a safe, corporate-approved bubble. But look, having the right tools is only half the battle. You have to teach people how to use them safely, especially non-tech teams. So here's the 4-step coaching method. Step 1, redaction. Always strip out sensitive data first. 2, role-based prompts. Make sure your questions are specific to your actual job. 3, source anchoring. You force the AI to base its answers only on verified internal data. And finally, 4, traceable decisions. Make sure every single thing you do with AI leaves a clear trail for auditors. So the playbook makes sense, but a strategy like this doesn't just appear out of thin air. You don't just dream this stuff up. It's forged in real-world experience. So let's look at the proof in practice. This timeline really tells the story. It's a journey of gaining deep institutional knowledge, all inside ANZ, one of the biggest banks in the world. This progression from process executive all the way up to associate manager shows that this AI strategy wasn't just an idea from the outside. It was built from years of hands-on experience, seeing the problems from the inside. And in total, we're talking about nearly 15 years of direct experience in the super complex world of global markets operations. It's that kind of deep understanding of the risks, the rules, and the day-to-day realities of finance that lets you build a practical AI strategy like the Office Safe approach. Okay, enough with the theory, let's make this real. We're going to walk through a quick case study in process optimization to see exactly how this kind of thinking gets applied to a real business problem. The story of this particular project starts with a single number that represented a pretty big operational risk: 32. So what was 32? It was the problem. 32 separate shared mailboxes for communications. Can you imagine the chaos? This is a classic example of operational complexity that's just begging for some AI-driven analysis. All that noise, the confusion, the multiple places where things could go wrong, it all adds up to a serious risk in a financial company. So after digging in, analyzing the workflows, and identifying where the real problems were, the project delivered a much cleaner result, all represented by this number, 11. Now, going from 32 down to 11, that wasn't just about deleting a few email accounts. It was about redesigning the entire workflow. This is exactly where that Office Safe mindset comes into play. By using the approved enterprise tools to analyze communication patterns and map out better processes, the team got a real, measurable reduction in complexity and risk, which is the whole point of enterprise AI. And that project wasn't a one-off. This slide shows a really consistent pattern of impact across critical areas. We're talking leading CLS confirmations for global entities, transforming entire trade life cycles, and championing risk controls. This is a career built on making complex systems safer and more efficient. Now, when you develop this level of expertise inside a major bank, that knowledge doesn't just stay behind closed doors. It starts to get shared externally, which brings us to our final section, the leader's voice. And this expertise is getting noticed, big time. Sangeetha was named a LinkedIn top voice for 2024, and her focus is on demystifying AI for non-tech professionals. With a growing following of thousands and communication qualifications from Toastmasters, she's actively translating this specialized in-the-trenches knowledge for a way broader audience. And this brings us right to our final thought. The Office-Safe approach gives us a clear blueprint for how to weave AI into a high-stakes environment safely. So, as you look at your own company, the question really isn't if you'll adopt AI anymore, but how. Is your team actually ready for this future of work?